Hey everyone, welcome back to the Critic-Verse. Today we're going to talk about the Season 3 premiere of Warrior, titled Exactly the Wrong Time to Get Proud. And it's the first episode where it's officially a Max original, released every Thursday on Max. Sorry, I was about to say HBO Max, but they just did the name change. Sorry once again, I'm a bit behind on Warrior because they dropped the first 3 episodes at once, and sometimes life can get in the way. So I'll be a bit behind for a while. Now, before we get to the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to keep updated on all things Critic-Verse. Now, on to the video. Once again, the episode is titled Exactly the Wrong Time to Get Proud. I believe you can interpret this for a lot of the characters in this episode. Sahm doesn't want to resort to stealing even with the cops cracking down on the Hop Wei. Young Jun feels the brunt of leadership and also that he isn't getting the respect he deserves, causing him to be rash. Bill believes his seniority grants him a first place for a promotion and a step to getting closer to getting his family back. Finally, Mai Ling is building on her deal with the interim mayor and making her primary focus on expansion. The episode starts with Sahm watching some Longzi guys unloading crates, but Sahm is also being watched by some neighborhood kids that remark on Sam's newfound notoriety since the duck invasion of Chinatown at the end of last season. Sahm pays the kid to run and tell Young Jun that it's time. The kid hauls ass to Hop Wei HQ, and we get a scene of all the guys running out to meet him. We then get the scene from the trailer where Sahm confronts the Longzi hatchet men, and they immediately pull out their hatchets on them. Sahm jokes how quickly they escalated, but notes they're in Hop Wei territory, but a fight quickly ensues, and we see how graphic the show has become since it's now a Max original. We get a really good indoor fight scene that highlights the show's epic choreography. The fight gets back outside as Sam's backup finally arrives, and it's a full-on Tong brawl as Lee Young arrives and makes quick work of all the extras. First, Lee Young fights Hong before Young Jun interrupts, but his knives aren't a match for Lee Young's martial arts, so Sahm has to step in, and the pair demonstrate their 3-season-long rivalry. But the Chinatown squad, with greater numbers than last time, show up and start busting heads. Sahm runs, but Bill chasing him down and corners him. The two have an argument on ideologies, wanting the police out of Chinatown, but when Bill is distracted, Sahm slips away, and Bill orders his men to fall back. And then he remarks that he's next in line to be the chief after the former died. Next, Chow is shown by the port dropping off a crate of guns to some ducks and spots a pile of cash, and the buyer is angry at Chow for pointing out he chose the cheaper guns and threatens to test them out on Chow. Chow doesn't back down, and the man likes that, but still mocks him and drops the money for Chow to pick it up, asserting his dominance. The Hop Wei are collecting dues. In Cantonese, they talk about the increased bull presence, shutting down a lot of their businesses, and during their famous camera pans, when it rotates around, it switches to English. And they go to pick up some protection money from a print shop owner, and when the shop owner can't pay, Young Jun feels disrespected, and at the mention of his father, he strikes the old man in front of his kids. But Sahm interrupts, and outside, Young Jun warns Sahm never to disrespect him in public again. And in another scene from the trailer, we see the Zhang Yao Tong, led by Kong Pak, who's an old friend of Lee Young's, bowing to Mai Ling, becoming part of the Longzi. And Mai Ling asks Kong Pak to sit on her council and offer wisdom, and he graciously accepts. Next, Leary attends another city council meeting where the elites and labor owners talk down to him because they can't hire Irish labor at those prices, and also pay for materials, noting they can't pay the Irish a living wage. I guess art reflects life sometimes, huh? Bill meets with his wife, dressed a lot fancier than usual, and he wants her to come home, but she says only after he's out of Chinatown, which he believes is soon because he thinks that he's the next chief. But Bill's proven he's often a bad bet. Next, Sahm is shown talking with a toy about how complicated Chinatown has become, how the bulls are cracking down, and how the Hop Wei might be folding under Young June. Young June has become unstable, and they both know that Atoy is still healing from her season 2 fight and doesn't think she'll pick up a sword anytime soon. But we know from the trailer that isn't the case. She says she's going up to the farm and Assam should come join. Now, I've never thought that they would tackle thruples in the show. Cut to Mai Ling meeting with Buckley, who tells her to stop expanding because he has to hold the police off on the Long Z, and especially with the election going on, to which she donates to his campaign, and she offers advice that also doubles as a threat. Leary is losing respect from his men because they still don't have jobs, and he starts sounding like a politician, at least to them. Lee is now working at the same bar with the woman that drugged him and robbed him, and is in an interracial relationship with her also, but he's still experiencing migraines from his season 1 attack. Young Jun later threatens Chow on the fact he has allegiance to no one and that he sold the hatchet that almost took off his head. And Young Jun says that he has to pick a side, which Chow tells him that Xing said the same thing and reminds Young Jun what happened to him. To which Hong comes and calms Young Jun down with the promise of Sticky as their added toys. Chow and Assam talk about the complications of family and the state of Chinatown with the bulls cracking down, the Hop Wei's out of money, so Chow advises stealing from the ducks he sold the guns to. Assam says that they aren't thieves, and Chow then says the episode title. At the police station, Buckley informs Bill he won't be promoted and brings in a colonel from New York as the new chief. He seems to be even more racist than Bill. Bill and Buckley argue over the semantics of whether or not Bill actually had the job and how well he's done with the Chinatown squad since he's been appointed. Next, Chow sells tours through Chinatown to wealthy white women, but he manages to put them in their place when they get a little bit racist, and leads them to Mai Ling, who surprises the woman by speaking English and inviting them all into her home. After she tells them her story, she is invited to one of their homes for a party. But Li Yang protests, and Mai Ling says duck greed will allow them to adapt and expand. Later, Atoy and Nellie discuss buying more land so that they can help more girls. Switch to Li Young training, and Kong Pak comments that he seems conflicted. They begin to talk over drinks, and they're happy to be comrades once again. Kong Pak believes Li Young should have been the head of Long Z. At least that's what everyone thought. But Li Young is loyal to Mai Ling, and they toast to the Long Z. Bill then comes for a drink with Lee and tries to convince him to come back now that he's no longer going to be chief. But Abigail warns Bill not to poach Lee away from her bar. Lee then tells Bill Lucy will come home, and Bill jokes that Lucy said the same thing about Lee, and that they're both idiots. Leary managed to get lower lumber prices so more Irish labor could be hired, and he negotiates the number of men to be hired from 15 to 20 men. In the final scene of the episode, Chow leads Sahm, Young-jun, and Hong on a raid of the guys he sold the guns to from earlier in the episode. One of the guys has Chow dead to rights, but when he pulls the trigger, the gun backfires on him, burning his face. And Chow remarks, "You get what you paid for." Guess Chow was lucky that he didn't test the gun out earlier. But the pile of cash is gone, and while they don't find the golden eggs, they do find the golden goose, by way of a printing press and currency plates as the episode ends. Wow, what an amazing opening to what looks like to be a great season ahead of us. Now let's talk about some stuff. Chief Flanagan is written out of the show because the actor, David Butler, passed away in 2021. And they gave an in memory for him at the end of the episode. So RIP. That guy that pulls the gun on Chow is actually the same actor that Sahm took the nunchucks from last season during the Chinatown raid. I don't know if he's playing the same character, but that would be hilarious. And it's funny how the real world politics of companies paying a living wage is such an issue and very relatable even in this day and age. And something that's great to me is that a lot of the images from the trailer were actually in the first couple of episodes. So that means there's a ton of more stuff that we still haven't seen. Because at this point, there's still 6 more episodes left in the season. There seems to be some dissension in the Longzi ranks as Kong Pak joins, but he may be pushing for Lee Young to take over instead of Mai Ling. Mai Ling seems to be causing more harm than good for her people just for the sake of her ascension, maybe proving Kong Pak right to Lee Young. Something that's really interesting is that Lee's relationship to Abigail is sort of overlooked as taboo by everyone else because the main focus of this show is white versus Asian, just like in the first season when apparently Leary is somewhat nice to 2 black men who try to buy from his bar. Leary's venture into politics is showing us the pitfalls of politics as economics supersedes what's better for the people. And even though after Young-jun took over at the end of last season, he seemed more rational, during this difficult time, he seems to be cracking under the pressure of leadership. But let's hope he pulls it together for all their sakes, as he could result in the end of the Tongs. Or maybe Mai Ling's expansion might be the end of the Tongs. But who knows, because there's still more to come. Thanks for joining me for this review of Warrior. Tell me, what did you like about the premiere? What did you not like? What are you hoping to see from this season? Let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, and join me next time in the Critic-Verse.